such a fucking banger. Yes, boys! What a beautiful fucking day. Made a lot of changes to the to all the holdings yesterday. I've rotated out of a lot of the shit coins because I was holding a fair few. Increased the ZKML position up to over 200,000 tokens. Some may say that that is a bit irresponsible. I don't think so. I think it is very logical. The path for ZK in my mind is very clear, and I think the chart speaks for itself. In comparison to others, it looks strong compared to everything else, but what I've done is moved everything now into 3 tokens pretty much. So ZKML, the other one is TRWA, which is real world asset token based out of Dubai. They're ultimately a fund that are tokenizing assets on chain. They've been on the radar for a while. Very interested in what they're doing. Relatively low market cap. I'd say low market cap. The market cap was 80 mil last night when I bought in. 4 times the size of ZKML's. 80 times the size of Infra's, or Infra, which was the other token I'm in. And yeah, so TRWA, very strong chart. They don't have a lot of information on the chart because it's only been out 2 months. But yeah, there's some big coals in there pumping it up, so it tends to perform well. That's not the reason I bought in. I actually don't always agree with a lot of the stuff that goes on there for obvious reasons. But the token itself, yeah, it looks good. So that one, and then Infra was number 3. And the chart for Infra looks like an absolute bag of balls. So that was not the reason that I ended up buying more, or even, because I've given this a fair bit of thought. And when I look back to some of the patterns of the mistakes that I've made, I nearly missed my turn, they often were because of emotions. So if I was able to reverse trade my emotions, I used to have one of those beasts over there, they're nice, the old A45, and yeah, you can make a lot better decisions basically. So selling the low of Solana in 2022 pretty much, if I'd have bought instead of sold, I could have made a fortune. I did actually buy in a bit higher, about $18. I sold the low at about $8 or whatever the FTX collapse was, and then yeah, not long after that bought back in, still made 10x actually. They made about 90 grand, but there was still lessons to be learned. And yeah, and I'm doing this now. I'm looking at this. I've made the mistake before of trying to reverse trade it, and there's fortune favors the brave, but not always. So I think collectively you need to make the decision, and not just solely based on the chart or the fundamentals, just everything, all the information combined. And that's why I take a fair bit of time in building positions of things, because new information always comes to light. And I like the team for Infra. I think they're honest and they seem genuine. Zach, I always like the AMAs. He answers questions well, he comes across very well, and Justin as well. I just think that there's a lot of catalysts coming up. I think they've got the V4 DApp coming out on the 14th of October, and the chart looks so bad that you can see the fear and the people, and they're still showing up every day. And I just think the chart looks that shit that I'm actually going to buy. So it just allows me to double my holdings effectively for a fraction of the price. And I know that's not everyone's, it's not appealing to everyone, it doesn't need to be. And it's not a strategy either. Like Joe and Sam at CCI would have a fucking heart attack if they saw that, because there's nothing there to substantiate the decision really, other than like intuition, and I just think that it might run. So, I'm not a fucking rocket scientist, even though you probably thought I was. But that one seems pretty clear to me, because now if I'm buying in double my bag now, my break-even price will come down massively as well. And obviously that's not to say that we don't go a bit lower and we don't have a bit of chop. That's quite probable, and I'm also expecting that, because these bottoms take a while to form. You don't just have a bottom and then all of a sudden you're back at all-time highs. I do think though, when we do have a bit of a higher low put in and the chart shows that it's bottomed, because once those levels get defended and whatnot, then I think you start seeing the bigger accounts start talking about it a bit more maybe. And yeah, they said on the AMA, Zach said, you know, effectively they market make their own token. Of course they do. So they have to defend certain levels and, you know, keep the chart looking all right, hopefully. But it also comes a time where you need to let sellers leave. You can't just keep providing exit liquidity for people just for no reason, you know, just let them out and then we get a new wave of buyers. Yeah, that's just how it works, unfortunately. So I'm optimistic about them, and the USDT that you see on the screen for that is actually, fucking hell, there's a bit of a shindig going on in there. Can't fucking see it anyway. Yeah, that's not even USDT, that's just the AI trader. I'm also going to be adding to that because that is doing very well. But my friend Matt did a post on ZKML recently. He drags all this information from about 40,000 different tokens and lets the information